Hello, sports fans. It's another edition of the Jeff and Jimmy Show, and we have a special guest with us, Laura Oblinger, and we might as well just start calling this the Jeff, Jimmy, and Laura Show.
You keep asking me back, so
I know.
there you go.
So, as you can see, I got a Nebraska or North High helmet, whichever way you want to look at it, sitting in front of me because I happened to lose a bet last week.
And unfortunately, I forgot to bring in the hoodie and shirts and hats and all that, so you're lucky you just get the helmet.
But I still picked up the win.
You did. I'll give you that. You need some, though.
Wrong.
First game on tap for Friday night is Mays and Derby. Mays is a pretty good team. They're not going to beat Derby, though.
I picked Derby.
Mays has the potential to do it, but they've kind of been a letdown this season. I think Derby's going to roll pretty handily.
Next up is Hutch and Campus. Campus has just been kind of down this year. I think Hutch is going to beat them.
I'll pick Hutch.
Campus is the best winless team around, but Hutch is going to roll them.
Next up is North and East. East is coming off of a big win last week. I can't remember who they played. It was Garden City. Yeah, they stomped them pretty good. And North High is just still struggling. Hate to see it, but I'm going to pick East.
I'll pick East.
I'm going with the Blue Aces as well.
We got Northwest and South. I think Northwest is going to roll in this game.
Northwest.
They're rounded into form, the Grizzlies.
I think the best game on tap for this week is the Andover Central Andover game. That's a crosstown rivalry game. Both teams are really good this year. It's hard to kind of pick which one's going to win. There's really no home field advantage in my opinion, but I'm going to go with Jaguars of Andover Central.
I'm solely picking Andover because that is we're going to move into Andover and it will be regular Andover where our kid goes to school. So
Central's coming off a tough loss, and I really like the way the Trojans have played, so I'm going to go with the Trojans. Give you a chance to make up the game.
Go with
either way.
Next up is Ark City Valley Center. Ark City pulled the upset on Mays, but really hasn't won much since. So I'm going to go with the local team. I'm going with Valley Center.
Valley Center.
Hornets.
Next up is Goddard and Salina Central. Salina Central is the team that beat. Who they beat last week?
They've had a couple decent wins. I'm not for sure, but
yeah, they beat a team that we both picked wrong last week, and Goddard's just struggling. So sorry about that, Jordan, your alma mater, but I'm taking Salina Central.
I'll pick Goddard.
In regards to Jordan, best dressed cameraman in the business. He's looking
Best
stellar
dressed,
today.
Absolutely.
I have to make a cameo here so people know what you're talking about.
But I forget the game. Oh, Central. Central's playing well. Going with Central. I was mesmerized by Jordan's dapper attire.
Mesmerized. Salina South and Newton. Newton is another one of those teams that has played really good football but just can't seem to pull it off at the end. But Salina South is not very good, so I'm picking Newton.
Newton.
Railers.
Great Bend and Eisenhower. I think this will be a pretty good game. They're pretty evenly matched, but I'm going to take the Tigers.
Eisenhower.
Going with the local team.
No, Jim, how this works is I say the school name and then you say the mascot.
I didn't notice we were. I didn't get that. Except Salina Central, I couldn't pull that one
No,
off.
that was
They are.
rough, yeah.
Mustangs.
Mustangs.
Mays South and Hayes. This is going to be another really good game. It's up in Hayes. I think it gives Hayes the advantage, but one of my best friend's sons plays at Mays South. I know the coaches. I'm taking Mays South.
Hayes has a great player that's been highly recruited, and so I'm going to actually pick Mays. I'm not going with the local team this time.
I'm definitely going to go with Hayes. They have the top player in the state, and they have several D1 players. I'd like to see Mays South win, but Hayes is stacked.
Next up is Capon and Liberal. They're coming off a tough loss, but it was a great game. I think they'll be too much for Liberal.
Capon.
I think it was karma for rolling up the score on Southeast, so I think that's why they lost that game. But they're going to win this game.
This was a theme of last week.
Right.
It's carrying over.
Just not good sportsmanship.
Next up is Southeastern Heights. Heights is having a mediocre season, but I think they'll take it to the Buffaloes.
Heights.
Haven't been out at Heights. They look really good, but their season's kind of average, but they'll win this game.
West and Bishop Carroll is next. Bishop Carroll's going to be just strong in that game.
Yeah, Bishop Carroll looks good again this year. So
Could be the best team in the state, Bishop Carroll.
Mulvane and McPherson, I think, is going to be an evenly matched game. I think it's going to be a good game. McPherson's coming off a tough loss to Bueller, which is their rival. It's in McPherson. It's hard to beat McPherson there. I'm going to have to take McPherson.
Mulvane hasn't let me down too much this year, and they're my alma mater, so I'm going to pick Mulvane, but it's going to be a good game.
This is right up there with that Andover game. Very hard to pick, but I'm going to go with Laura's team, Mulvaney. You bet.
Next up is Nickerson and Cheney. Cheney's having a really good season. Nickerson is not, and so I'm going to take Cheney.
Yeah, Cheney again looks good. Cheney.
Cardinals.
Halstead at Collegiate. Collegiate's number 2 in 3A. They're undefeated, and I don't think this is going to be much of a game. I'm taking Collegiate.
Yeah, Collegiate.
Spartans.
Nice. This is testing your knowledge.
Had to think on that
Yeah.
one for a minute.
Next up is Andale and Clearwater. This is the battle of the 2 teams. Their mascots are the Indians. Clearwater is having kind of a down season. Andale is still playing really well. I'm taking Andale.
Yeah, this time Jimmy might have to say this.
Right.
But I'm picking Andale.
Andale's top dog until somebody beats them.
Next up is Garden Plain and Belle Plain. So the battle of the plains.
I like that. Yeah.
There we go.
Tip your waitresses.
Yeah. I'm taking the Owls.
Garden Plain.
Garden Plain Owls.
Last game is Elkhart versus Sedgwick. Sedgwick's been playing very well, so I'm taking Sedgwick.
I mean, Elkhart is also kind of a county. Sedgwick. So it's like Battle of the County, right?
Battle of the
Yeah,
Counties.
hey.
Sedgwick has the most unique schedule.
Yeah, I love it. Every
It's
week.
like, who are they playing?
Yeah.
But they're really good. I'm going with Sedgwick.
So we move on to college. This week is Oklahoma State and Texas. Texas blew a huge lead against
Yeah.
OU. What we've been saying all year about Rattler being overrated and stuff absolutely came out to be true. And thank goodness the freshman wasn't playing against K-State.
Yeah.
So, but you know, it's in Texas. They're coming off a big loss to their biggest rivalry. I'm gonna have to take Texas.
I'm picking Texas. They would have won that game last weekend had it not been for a change in quarterbacks. And the Oklahoma fans also make it known how they feel about which quarterback they want played. So Texas over this game.
I wouldn't say Oklahoma so much wanted this. Texas lost it. And Oklahoma's offense was basically run far and I'll throw it to you. It wasn't really a lot of offense. But I'd like to see Oklahoma State win, but it's in Austin. I'm going to go with Texas.
Next up, we got BYU and Baylor. I think this is actually going to be a good game. Baylor is ranked. Not Baylor. BYU is
Yeah.
ranked,
They were in top 10. I haven't checked this week, but
and Baylor is actually playing well. It's in Baylor. I'm picking Baylor for the upset.
this is pretty exciting because BYU is going to be a future Big 12 team here, so it's going to be kind of fun. I am picking BYU.
I struggled with this one, but I'm going to give the advantage to BYU.
Next up, we got Texas Tech and Kansas. I don't know if there's a decision to make here. It's Tech, and KU, I don't think will win a game all year.
And unfortunately, even though it's in Lawrence, KU, I don't really know that they have a home field advantage.
pretty
So Texas Tech.
While I agree with a lot that said, I think this could be KU's breakthrough game. Texas Tech is up and down, up and down. But until they do get that breakthrough game, I'm gonna go with the opponent, Texas Tech.
Yeah, this was the game a couple years ago that I think KU beat Texas Tech right at the end and kind of sent, the next weekend was K-State and we were a little concerned and had no reason to be. So this could be, like you said, KU's game.
I hope it is.
Next up, we got TCU in Oklahoma. It's in Oklahoma. We kind of talked about that before. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do because if they start Rattler, I think there's going to be boos from the very beginning. I think Lincoln Riley's kind of stuck with he's going to have to start a freshman in that game.
Gosh.
So I'm still taking OU.
Yeah, they brought Rattler in for a 2-point conversion and they got booed, and that was at the Texas State Fair. I mean, we weren't even home. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma, especially if they go with the freshman.
Rattler was predicted to be the first pick in the NFL draft. That stock is plummeting. Oklahoma, I think they're vastly overrated. I think they're actually going to slip into the playoff, and I think it'll be the typical thing. I think they'll get blasted in the playoff, but they're going to win this game.
I actually don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
So they're not great this year.
They're not that good.
Next up is Iowa State and Kansas State. What is this called?
Farmageddon.
There you go.
Yes.
I learned that like 2 years ago.
Yes, it's my favorite rivalry. This is the best.
And because of that rivalry, I think it's going to be a good game. It's in K-State. Skylar Thompson's back. He's had a week off. hopefully he can run better instead of just having to throw. And if he's up to 100%, I think they got a shot in this game. So I'm taking K-State.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking K-State, mainly because I'm biased. But this is always a game that K-State tends to get up for. Iowa State does as well. If Brock Purdy can play well, it's going to be a close game. But one of my favorite phrases is to get Iowa Stated. And there's been several games in the past that Iowa State has had a turnover within the last 2 to 3 minutes that gives K-State the game. So, hopefully if Thompson's not playing well, they can kind of kick themselves in the foot like that.
That was not the case last year. Iowa State rolled.
No, they did. Yeah. And, well, we did not have Skylar Thompson,
True.
so fingers crossed.
I think Northwest alum Brees Hall's due for a breakthrough game. He's had a good season, but not a great season. I think Brees will have a good game in this one, and I'm going to pick Iowa State.
You want to take the last game?
Yes, the team that has lost to 4 top 10 teams all by less than a score. They are on the cusp of greatness. Mark my words.
Minnesota?
No, not the Golden Gophers.
Oh.
I love that mascot.
And their coach is about as cute as that mascot. He's very annoying. But Nebraska's on the cusp. They're right there. It's going to happen, and the Big Red will win this one.
Jim has had a major turnaround, I feel like.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I motivated Scott Frost.
Still losing, but they're on the cusp of greatness.
Yeah,
They are.
We're going to have to rewind some tape because I think I said I want Scott Frost to have a good season. Just keep the guy.
He's staying.
I'm picking Minnesota, though.
So, I actually watched Minnesota, one of their first games of the year, and they had a running back that was
He got hurt though.
out of this world and got hurt, and he's done. If that kid was playing, I think it would be a much more competitive game. But because he's not playing, I still can't take the
I like
This
the
is
build-up.
kind of like,
You're right.
Yeah. So the records are 120-36 for me and 127-29. So some of these games I picked opposite because I just got to make up some games, and I don't like Nebraska. So,
Really?
but other than that, I think that that ends our show for today. Any parting words you guys might have?
No. Looks like the weather's going to be great this
yes,
weekend.
it does. It could be a little chilly Saturday night for the K-State game, but
Even better.
we'll be there. We'll see how long I last with the kid, but yeah.
I'll be up there myself with, I got 2 kids that go to college up there. I'll be watching the game with them and having a great time. So I hope all of you enjoy the weekend, get out and support your favorite team, and we will see you next week.